Wee! 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 Oh, that makes me dizzy. Hey everybody, Sammy Camachi from Under the Stairs Brewing Company, and happy Homebrew Wednesday for Wednesday, September 11th, 2013. First and foremost, want to give all of my condolences and heartfelt feelings out to all of our families and friends and people who were affected by the tragic events of 9/11 a number of years ago. So my heart goes out to you guys, and my thoughts and prayers are with you and your families at this time of need and a time of remembrance and a time to honor all those people who gave their lives valiantly in that tragic event. Yeah, so sombering moment. But happy Homebrew Wednesday to everybody nonetheless, and cheers. For those of you who are wondering what I was doing there earlier, that is my impression of Grant Baker's new rotating sparge arm. I'll see if I can post a link to his YouTube video down below in the comment section, because it's a brilliant design, and I'm not quite into that sparging technique yet, because I'm basically just more or less doing brew in a bag, all grain kits, as well as sticking to kits and brewing on a budget. Now, I did mention in my Beer Fun Friday the Great Canadian Breakfast Stout, which has turned out to be a real treat. This is it right here. Cheers again. Also got the Green Bullet IPA on tap still in Lucille. Not Lucille. I need a new name for my kegerator, so I'm putting it out there. Feel free to comment and let me know what you think the new name for the kegerator should be. Like I said earlier, she's like the Millennium Falcon. She doesn't look good on the outside, but she's got it where it counts, and she does the Kessler run in less than 4 parsecs. Courtesy of our good friend Han Solo. And Chewy, what's been happening in the brewery? Well, I put down a couple more brews actually. Right behind me, you'll see that's my Black IPA, or a Black IPA attempt at a Black IPA with a Coopers kit. And what that was a Coopers IPA Brewmaster Select Kit, the one with the black and red label. 1 kilogram of dark malt extract liquid, and that's by weight as well. 500 grams of Demerara by weight. And then 280 grams of chocolate malt that I steeped in 22 liters of 22 liters of water. I'd steeped those grains up to 170 degrees and removed them. Added the malt extract and the sugars, brought up to a boil, added 1 ounce of Green Bullet hops in the pellet form, because I'm digging those hops right now, lads and ladies. If you haven't tried it, they're about a 14 to 15% alpha acid content, really high bittering. But I love that almost puckering feeling I get. Or as my girls say, fishy kisses, that it gives. And it's working really, really well in that Green Bullet IPA that I did, which was also the Coopers kit. Still doing kits, still brewing on a budget. Let's see. The total contents of this kit ran me a grand total of $35 Canadian. So that included the kit and the malt extract, the Demerara sugar I had, and the Green Bullet hops I also had that I bought previously. So not including those items, it was $35 even. Taxes in, out the door from my local homebrew supply store. Like I said, I did 1 ounce of Green Bullet hops at 30 minutes, because I only did a 30-minute boil with the volume. And then another 1 ounce of Green Bullet hops at 15 minutes. Added the immersion chiller, and a thanks again to Nick and Hitman's Brewhouse for that brilliant gift. I don't know how I ever lived without one. Chilled it down to 70.2 degrees with the chiller. My starting gravity is 1.050 at 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Pitched my yeast, and fermentation took off literally within about less than 2 hours. And I just used the Coopers yeast that came with the kit. Now, it's basically had a bit of a spike in temperature here. So the temp went from 70, which is about 21 degrees Celsius, all the way up to 75, sitting at about 24. So I put it down on the floor. Temperature's supposed to drop tonight and get back to sort of seasonal, which would be about 20 degrees Celsius, 16 degrees Celsius or so. But hopefully that won't affect any of the flavors adversely. Here's to hoping anyways. I then also racked my bitter into secondary, which was, for that, cost me a total, let's see, it's 19 and 2, so this is 21, 23, 24, $24 out the door. That was a Coopers English bitter kit. 1 kilogram of, $34, my mistake, sorry. A kilogram of amber malt extract in the liquid form, 500 grams of Demerara, and then 1 ounce of green bullet hops. Again, 30-minute boil, and 22 liters of water, just with the sugar and the malt extract. Added hops at 50 minutes left in the boil. Because it's a bitter, I don't really want to get a lot of the bitterness, but I want to get a lot of the flavors from the hops out, and hopefully that should really sort of round it out a little bit. Starting gravity again was 1.050. Finishing gravity to date, actually on the 13th of September, so a few days ago, was 1.012 with a final ABV of around 5.1, 5.2%. So I've racked that to secondary on the 13th. Sorry, not on the 13th. I'm on glue. Sorry, on the 7th. So that's just racked, waiting for a spot in the keg, but that won't be for a while. So just going to let it chill out naturally on its own. I don't think I'm going to do any gelatin with this one. I'm just going to let it not chill, but sort of let it settle and clarify on its own. The Black IPA, I'm probably going to rack this weekend into secondary as well, and let that just sort of sit and get all happy. And then I won't be doing any more brewing until October. Swimbo and I had a bit of a conversation about brewing on a budget, and yes, things are still cheaper, but again, kids' teeth and dentists, and what else is there? Oh yeah, car maintenance. Got to pay off or reallocate funds from column A to column B for the brewing budget to compensate for the payment of the new fridge. It is what it is, lads, ladies, we've all been there. There's never enough money, there's never enough time, it's life, it's what it has, it throws curveballs at you. And, you got a bunch of lemons, what do? You make lemonade! Or you make a lemon and orange infused wheat beer. A little bit of coriander. That would have been good yesterday because it was bloody hot. I actually had a couple of the Green Bullet IPAs, and I didn't even get to dinner. I was just wiped. They went down so smoothly. Those of you who want the recipe, send me a note. But I am going to attempt to ship some brews overseas to Uncle Jonah for his beer kit challenge, or beer kit contest challenge, whatever you want to call it. So, Jonah, hopefully they make it over there, mate. If they don't, I apologize. You can only blame it on British Customs. Or Canadian Customs. But I would love somebody to send me a message on what I could use for description of contents. I've heard yeast samples work. I'm not entirely sure. If someone just wants to send me a personal message via my YouTube channel, that would be great. Just looking for some ideas because I want to really make sure that they get there. Just looking for some honest feedback. It's really, really good to get some feedback from other people who haven't sampled your brews, and it's fun. It's shits and giggles, and it's, it's a good time. So I'm all about that. So cheers. Pardon me. Those who haven't heard about Uncle Jonah's little contest, it is a beer kit contest, basically. I think he's looking for 2 to 3 samples or 2 to 3 beers from your kits with listed descriptions and cost breakdown, and then he has to have them, I believe, by October the 31st. Now, I'm going to send Jonah my stuff probably the beginning of October because he's on a 30-day sobriety challenge right now, and I really don't want to give him any temptation. Not saying that my beer is that great, but, I tried the sobriety challenge. I think I lasted for 3 or 4 days, but, it is what it is. So that's really what's happening. I did come up with an idea for a brew, a Black Forest Cake Stout. Now, I want to run this by you guys as well. Kit-sized, or with a Coopers kit as well. I'm sure I could get away with something doing an all-grain version, but I want to give this a shot and then go to switch to an all-grain brew in a bag version down the road. But basically, I was thinking about doing a Coopers Australian Stout kit or even the Brewmaster Series Irish Stout kit. 500 grams of dextrose, 500 grams of demerara, 8 ounces of fancy molasses by weight, because that's what really worked well in that breakfast stout that I did earlier. 300 grams of quick oats just to up it from the 200 to get a little bit more mouthfeel. And then I want to add some lactose. And I'm thinking probably about 500 grams of lactose as well. And then 4 ounces of cocoa nibs in the secondary. Now I was going to soak 4 ounces of cocoa nibs in the secondary. And then also the secondary, I wanted to add 1 pound of cherries soaked in kirsch. Because university roommate of mine made a wicked black forest cake. He was a chef and he always soaked his cherries in kirsch and the flavor was out of this world. So I'm hoping to get something very, very similar to a black forest cake, because that's one of my favorite desserts. And it's always so weight friendly. Oh, I just have a wee piece, Mom, just a wee piece. 1 wee piece turns into 2, and then next thing you know, it's 11:30 and you're jonesing for a little bit more of that sweet, tasty goodness. Oh, lo and behold, there it is, it's in the fridge. So you cut yourself off, not a piece, but a wedge. And you grab your fork, you head downstairs with a big glass of milk, and oh, life is good. Life is, in fact, blissful at that point. So, would love to get your feedback on that. That's just an idea I had it while making a new shelf for the new kegerator. You know, it's one of those aha moments. Some people thought, oh, did you have, Black Forest cake on the shelf while you came up with this idea? No, I didn't. Those of you, yeah, you know who you are. Certain someone who I've reconnected with recently who knows all about that. So, that is really all that I have. I'm going to try and keep it a little bit short. Yeah, so again, this is Sammy from the Stairs Brewing Company saying, if you're going to do something, do it with a homebrew. So I'm going to have a couple more of these tonight because it's Wednesday and all. And keep calm and brew on, everybody. Cheers. And all the best, and sincerely, thank you so much for liking and subscribing to my channel, liking the pages, liking the videos, and taking the time to watch it. Because honestly, like I said earlier tonight, life is very busy and gets things, you just forget about certain things sometimes. And I really, really appreciate you guys and ladies taking the time to watch the videos, commenting, and give me some honest feedback. So, cheers, prost, sláinte, all the good stuff. This is Sammy from the Stairs Brewing Company saying, I'll see you later. If you want the recipe, watch my Beer Fun Friday video that I posted earlier, because the recipe's there. It works a bloody treat. Cheers, guys. Take care. Thanks again.